Hi you guys, happy Tuesday and welcome back to my channel. Why is Kosi's Cintumula's name keeps on coming up, especially the questionable relationship that she shares with Shadrack Sibiya? Because it is said that he took those dockets from KZN to Pretoria. He was even told by MASEMOLAS that the way you and Shadrack took those dockets from KZN is the same way you're going to take them back to KZN because you did everything without my instruction. This is the same General Kosi Cintumule, whom Shadrack Sibiya suggested that the political killings dockets be removed from the office of General Khumalo to her. Who is this lady? I think we're all interested. I'm very interested to know more about her. In this video, I wanted us to talk about MASEMOLAS' testimony and this lady, as well as Shadrack's relationship that is very questionable and how he's always coming through for her. So the testimony started by the disbandment of the political killings and how that was done very much immediately by the minister. Spoke about how the dockets moved from 128 to 121 and that the reason why it moved from 128 to 121 is because the others were resolved, and he confirmed that not all of them were politically motivated unalivings. And then he spoke about the interference or the involvement of organizations like AfriForum, especially with the DA councillor that was killed. And when they were busy with investigations, they sent a letter to the minister and the national commissioner, which is MASEMOLAS, asking reasons as to why their matter has not yet been resolved and that the political killings task team was very useless up until they made those arrests recently, which involved that Induna and everybody else. So there was letters of complaints that were directed to the president. That is because these people didn't trust the political killings task team. So it is not only other organizations. I think I've made a video about this before, that the AfriForum is part of the people that have questioned and tried to interfere with the work of the political killings task team in KZN, especially in regards to Imdeni municipality and that case that they took of that councillor who was killed in the process as a politically motivated killing. And then he spoke about the minister, him appointing or wishing to appoint a senior counsel to investigate some of the matters that the political killings was busy with. And I think also that include that councillor, and didn't have much trust on the political killings task team. But MASEMOLAS managed to convince him and show him that there's a lot of successes the political killings task team has been busy with, as well as Khumalo presented that report to him that the arrests have been made, including the arrest of Magak, which happened, I think, January this year. So they were trying to convince him, to show him that there's a lot of work that has been done by the political killings task team and these arrests that have been given effect to, when he was starting to lose faith on the political killings task team. Then he was asked about the difference between the political killings task team investigations and arrests that are compared to ordinary killings or murders. He then made a distinction about two people, that with ordinary it's normally two people involved, whereas this one, political killings task team, is very much dealing with very complex situations where there's a lot of people that are involved. There's a chain of events that lead up to the killing of someone else. Then he spoke about two meetings that are very important, and these meetings are with regards to political killings task team. One meeting was the one on the 6th of March. The other one was the one on the 27th of March, 2025. He says the one on the 6th of March, it was in Cape Town. It was discussed that the political killings task team has to be disbanded. But when the National Commissioner, MASEMOLAS, asked for reasons as to why it's being disbanded, they failed. The minister failed to provide that reason.
The question suggests that it was not clear to you from the letter of 31 December 2024 what the reason was.
Yeah, the reasons on the letter of the 31st of December 2024 was not convincing to me. That you have done assessment. You have done assessment where? With who? That was my problem. So it was not clear, and I couldn't take that as a reason. Hence I asked him, tell this, before this meeting starts, as we open, tell these officers what are the reasons.
That referred to the fact that political killings ended before 1994. Though that type of thing of political killings doesn't exist anymore.
Is focusing on political killings. To say those were on what you say was the minister's response, an issue that occurred or took place pre-1994 and not after. And I just want to ask you two questions from there. The one is it correct that post-1994 there were no political killings. And
So in other words, he failed to provide the reasons why the political killings have to be disbanded. And since he failed to provide the reasons, the other meeting, which was to conclude on that, was supposed to take place on the 27th of March. And on the before that 27th of March, what happened is that they gave effect to an arrest of someone who killed a councillor, and the minister was not happy, to a point that the commissioner, the national commissioner, even said that he was shocked that the minister is not happy that they've given effect to an arrest. How come that doesn't make sense?
They didn't make the arrest. Yes, we agree with him. They did not make the initial arrest of the people for possession of firearm. That was done by the local POP. But the Pktt was able to do further investigation, and they linked the suspect to the murder of this councillor. So that made him angry, and it made the meeting end up abruptly, and he said he will only talk to me and not talk to Kumal and the rest. And yes, that what surprised me was exactly that how would you be angry when police did what they're supposed to do? So
it then happened that when they came on the 27th of March to meet again, he was so angry that he said that he will not speak to everyone else, including Kumalo. He will only speak to Fani Masemola. And I think that is very questionable, because how can you not be happy that these people have arrested somebody? It's not like they've arrested the wrong person or something like that, but you as a minister, you are not happy about that. Those are some of the red flags that show the character of SENZO MCHUNU and what his intentions were, and how much he wanted the political killings task team to not arrest anybody, especially after the sixth meeting. He thought that after the sixth meeting, everybody should just take that order. And I think I'm sensing some form of dictatorship from that, which means he wanted to be that leader who is dictating to them, doesn't give them reasons, just say that do 1, 2, 3 without them having to question. Hence, he was so angry that the work actually continued. Even after the meeting of the 27th, they didn't reach a resolution as to, okay, how are they going to move forward with making sure that the team is being disbanded accordingly. It doesn't just get disbanded just like that. The disbandment needs to be done accordingly, including the issue of the dockets. And the issue of the dockets was discussed on the 6th of March meeting, where they said that the dockets have to go to the station of origin, and Fani Masemola was not happy about that, but that was the resolution.
Well, the reason given was so that there is consolidation and control of dockets, which I said no.
Instead of the minister SENZO MCHUNU as well as Shadrack Sibiya ensuring that at least they give effect to what they said, which is to take the docket to the station of originality, they just took the docket to Pretoria. And the person that was involved in that is this lady, Kosi Sintumole. She was involved in this whole process of ensuring that the cases or the dockets get to Pretoria. And Fani Masemola is saying that part of the reasons why that was the case is because they wanted to take out the cases that belong to Gauteng, which is the Arman Swartz case as well as Ket Matlala case, which was then followed by the arrest of Ket Matlala. But before the arrest of Ket Matlala, you remember that the contract that Ket Matlala received of the tender got cancelled. And Fani Masemola gave credit to SENZO MCHUNU, saying that he assisted in ensuring that that case has been investigated, and gave the instruction that they look into that tender, which then led to subsequent cancellation of the tender.
MCHUNU, or Minister MCHUNU, raised the alarm on the matter of the health risk manager contract at a meeting, and then we subsequently held a meeting on the 24th of December 2024. And a follow-up meeting was held on 3 February 2025. Concerns were raised regarding the health risk manager contract with Medicare Medicare 24 Tshwane District, a contract for medical examination for new SUPS members. Without these exams, new appointments were affected. In the meetings, reports of general non-performance were raised. Minister MCHUNU instructed that we look into the contract. During that process, we discovered corruption, fraud, and a failure of delivery of service, resulting in the cancellation of the contract.
Vusumuzi Matlala and Brown Mokgotsi worked together to go and speak to General Ntamkwanas because they felt betrayed by SENZO MCHUNU. Why would SENZO MCHUNU say that they need to investigate, give that instruction to investigate the tender that he knows very well that Vusumuzi Matlala is a beneficiary of? Clearly, these people were hurt by those moves from SENZO MCHUNU and they felt like, you know what, we are being betrayed and we also want to betray this person and his career. He will never be president of South Africa, as probably, you know, we used to hear that he's one of the people that are currently being trained or were trained to be the president of South Africa or the next president of the ANC. If you continue voting for the ANC, he would have been your president, imagine. They felt the need to tell Mkhwanazi everything because it just didn't make sense to them why they were cancelling their tenders, because they started from 2023 cancelling their tenders to now. That was questionable to them as to why are they cancelling their tenders, which was then followed by the arrest of Pktt Matlala. So those are some of the things that Fanny Masemola gave SENZO MCHUNU a credit to. But besides that, he is a very shady character. That seems like he's giving senses or signs of dictatorship towards the National Police Commissioner. And I think one of the things I saw from the comment section is that people were saying that Fanny Masemola is a very calm guy and he's a person that doesn't deal well with pressure. I think that more than anything, Masemola is a very calm person, and I think the minister definitely took advantage of his goodness, of his calm demeanor, of his, you know, that person who doesn't talk too much. They took that and they then played in his head. Hence, you see that everything that he does, the minister comes and fixes that or does the contrary. Or even when he does whatever, Shadrack Sibiya comes and does the contrary. And even he was even asked as to why he didn't ask about certain decisions that police officers were still taking. You know, what I can say is that what I've seen is that the way they don't respect Masemola, they do whatever and whenever they want, and I think they've cracked his character. They know that he won't do anything as long as they can just say that it's the minister will give us the instruction. The same thing that Shadrack always uses, that the minister gave me the instruction, therefore what are you going to do?
In terms of lines of command, he reports to me, but yes, he was reporting to the minister directly now and then.
Yes, on what issues? And I think maybe, perhaps my question was not specific. If I can just ask you to indicate in respect of which matters was he reporting to the minister, and in respect of which matters was he reporting to you? Relative to the point that you're making here, that it was inappropriate for him to act directly on the minister's instructions.
Yeah, well, in all matters, he is supposed to report to me directly in everything. But yes, one did pick it up that there are matters that he report directly to the minister.
So his failure to act decisively and strictly made these people to feel like, you know what, we are going to listen to the minister. When we don't have our way, we are going to go to the minister and the minister will allow us to have our way. And it's so painful when you will have such people, you're a superior, and these people are under you, but the way they are not controlled, they just do whatever that they want, make their own decisions, because they know you won't do anything. You're not going to discipline them, you're not going to fire them, because they don't even answer to you. Literally, they're trying to say, you're spitting on your face, saying to you that you hold no power. The person that holds the power is the minister, and we are going to account to the minister. The minister is our boss. You are just an image that has occupied the position. And one of the things that we said was that Shadrack Sibiya even lied that he was the acting National Police Commissioner when Fanny Masemola was on leave. Those are some of the things that should show you that he's giving himself power, or he's preparing himself for that position. And I think that if Mkhwanazi never did what he did on the 6th of July, high chances Shadrack Sibiya was going to be the National Police Commissioner. He was heading towards that direction because it seems like he had a really good relationship with SENZO MCHUNU, and he was getting his way through the SENZO MCHUNU, and probably they were planning their way to remove Fanny Masemola. So it's just his character, I think, is what has made him to be in so much trouble and the police to be like this. To date, Shadrack doesn't even respect him, went and even took him to court. that shows the type of disrespect that he has. Instead of just taking your leave and you've been doing a lot of wrong. He's been doing a lot of wrong, Shadrack Sibiya. He has, but he was like, you know what, I have the power and I'm still gonna fight. And I'm really happy that Mkhwanazi is fighting, and Mkhwanazi is not just fighting for himself, he's also fighting for people like Fani Masemola, who can't really be that assertive and are in positions of power and are not that talkative. They just let things be because they know that either way they don't have as much power as these people who are bullying them. Shadrack Sibiya was a bully. He was always bullying Fani Masemola and acting as if he respects him, he honors him, he listens to him, but he knows that in his head he doesn't want to listen to anything.
The insubordination, which I know is carried somewhere in this regulation by passing and reporting somewhere else, that is insubordination. So I know it will be carried somewhere within the regulations that are here. But to be specific to that one that you asked, I think on 1793.
While Fani Masemola, on the other hand, he just respects the minister. He respects the minister so much that, he's given him the position that he deserves, which is the respect. But the minister doesn't do the same thing. And I think that's where the problem started with Fani Masemola. But Fani Masemola was never supposed to respect Minister SENZO MCHUNU. He deserves no respect. That one is a criminal together with Shadrack Sibiya. They are all criminals. But he said he doesn't know. And they even asked him that it makes sense that if you're an employer and someone doesn't really act insubordinate to you, you deal with them. And he responded by saying that, it's part of the charges. It's like he failed to respond as to what can you do to deal with Shadrack Sibiya's disregard of him and his power, and how he doesn't feel him. And how also the minister is not even ending that type of behavior from Shadrack Sibiya. Seems like the minister just was like, probably fueled the fire by saying, don't listen to this one is slow, this one is like this, come to me. You find that those are some of the things. Very curious to hear what the minister has to say with regards to how they would bypass the national commissioner and go to him, and how did he feel about that? Didn't he see it necessary for him to go and tell Shadrack Sibiya that, listen, this is your superior? When those Dockets were there in Pretoria, they wanted to form another political killings task team or another task team in Pretoria. And he didn't approve of that because he said that already there's a task team that is already established in KZN. There's no need for us to establish another one, which means they wanted to literally take over and hijack the whole process, which then makes sense why Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi had to have that brief, because these people were planning to take over. And they knew that since Shadrack Sibiya didn't approve of the budget and everything for that work to continue, or for them to form a political killings task team in Pretoria, which means that they can easily go to the minister the way they did and went to the minister to disband a political task team in KZN. They can still do the same thing, establish a new political killings task team that is in Pretoria that they can easily control, and that is headed by Shadrack Sibiya.
The instruction is issued to you, not to Sibiya.
That is correct, Commissioner.
That's the first part. The second part is, it says General Sibiya, who was the acting national commissioner at the time, and you've pointed out that is not correct. And the third part to it is, it says that the direction from the minister to Sibiya, according to this paragraph, General Sibiya, according to this paragraph, it's that the political task team, which is based in KZN, be disbanded, and this is the important part I want you to comment on, transfer all case dockets to respective stations of origin through provincial serious and violent crime investigation. That's not the instruction of the minister. That last part.
Yes, that's true. That paragraph or line is incorrect. Yes.
Your friend, again, guess what? Say it with me. Kosi Sintumole was told that you and your friend Shadrack Sibiya were able to take those dockets from KZN to Pretoria. Please return them. I don't want to be involved. You find a way and return those dockets back to KwaZulu-Natal. Kosi, Kosi, Kosi. How many times did I call her name? Why are you mingling yourself with criminals?
tell Lieutenant General Sibiya that he should return the dockets the same way that he took them from the province.
What does that mean? Returning them the same way that he took them?
I was mentioning that the dockets that he took from KwaZulu-Natal, if he took it without the authority of the provincial commissioner, he must return them same way without the authority back to where he took them from. Because he, first of all, he wasn't supposed to take them without the knowledge of the PC. And nevertheless, he took them. So I was saying he must see to finish, he must take them the same way back.
So if he didn't involve the if he did not involve the provincial commissioner when taking them, he should also not involve him when he's returning them to the province. That's the point you're making.
Correct, yes. Okay. That's what I was saying.
I think what I love about Fani Masemola of all this testimony is that he said that since the minister failed to give a clear plan as to how they're going to go about the disbandment, the issues of the budget and everything, when the minister failed and was angry after the 27th meeting, he thought that the political killings task team should just continue with the investigation.
Yeah, commissioners, well, you'll recall that we were still with the disbandment plan, but the team, I kept on renewing financial authorities, so the team is still working.
And he said that at first the plan was for the winding down of the team, but over time it became a plan of finalizing the budget so that the team can continue. And that is what happened during June, July, when the president as well as Firoz Kachala challenged him and said that he was not supposed to do that. He was first supposed to consult them before the political killings task team can continue with their work.
Or you are funding the team as part of a process of winding down. Which one is it?
At some point, I think earlier, as we were supposed to wind down, the issue was the minister was going to sign off the plan of winding down, and that plan couldn't be finalized. So then we couldn't wind down the team. So the funding is for continuation of the team.
Now moving right along to Shadrack Sibiya. So Shadrack Sibiya wanted to control the overall detective services.
Well, General Sibiya is on his side. He mentioned that now he wants to have total control of the whole of the detective services.
And it was said that, number one, he wanted to assume control over cold case units investigations. And cold case units investigations include the cases such as the case of SENZO MEYIWA, meaning that he wanted to have control over what happens with the SENZO MEYIWA, who testifies, what he wanted to see the evidence and everything. Remember, this is the same guy that has been accused of being very much involved in the SENZO MEYIWA case, that even tampered with evidence in the scene in Vosloorus. So he's a very, very dangerous man, this one. That's why he wanted control. But Fani Masemola said, no, you just arrived. You can't just want something like that to fall under your portfolio.
Lieutenant General Sibiya was appointed as a Deputy National Commissioner of Crime Detection in June 2023. And upon Lieutenant General Sibiya's appointment, almost immediately, signaling deeper complexities in the operational landscape. The first arose from Sibiya's strong desire to assume control over the cold case unit.
These people cannot report to him because currently they're reporting directly to the National Commissioner. He wanted these people to report to him. Shadrack Sibiya is a liar and he's a real criminal, that guy.
Yes, he wants that unit to come to his portfolio. I don't deny it. Maybe on the substructure, it's possible that the unit might be linked to him. But for reasons that the cold case units deal with work that you can say where the general detectives or the detectives have failed to unearth or resolve cases, then the cold case unit has been reporting directly to the National Commissioner since the previous National Commissioner and currently myself.
He's a conniving criminal, a premeditating criminal. He plans things very well before he executes them. Secondly, he wanted Dumisani Khumalo to not retain the dockets for investigation. He wanted to let detectives stay with the dockets. Imagine, guys. And then, obviously, MASEMOLAS said that that cannot happen and that cases are very sensitive. That should not be the case. And then the third thing that Sibiya wanted was that Khumalo must not oversee the political killings task team, but General, you guessed it right, General Kosi Sintumule should be the one who takes over the political killings task team. Actually, this is the third time I'm mentioning this lady. If you've been listening to this video, this is the third time I mention her. And all the time when I mention her, she's what? She's intertwined. She has some entanglement somewhere, somehow with Shadrack Sibiya. Before we can continue, let us know, who is this lady?
Lieutenant General Sintumule. I advise him that this can be done if Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo is of the view that he is overloaded and had capacity constraints. Otherwise, if he says he can still do it because it's not a full-time job for him, the status quo should remain. And at some point, when I asked Khumalo, he did indicate that the Pktt is a well-oiled machine that runs. He only have to see them maybe once in a month or so, or as and when there is a need. So it's not a burden to him. So he can manage his division of crime intelligence and still oversee the Pktt, which I said there is nothing wrong with that. He should continue.
So this lady is the first woman to be head of counterterrorism and head of counter and security intelligence, head of organized crime support subs, and DPCI, Directorate Proprietary Crimes Investigation. The very office, if you guys remember, this is the very office that Shadrack Sibiya wanted to be the head of. And then when it comes to divisional commissioner's appointment, on 1 April 2021, she was appointed divisional commissioner of detective and forensic services. Her responsibilities thus far, or the current role, she oversees general detective, crime scene management, forensic science labs, SO unit, child protection, family violence, commercial crime, serious organized crime, criminal record. That's what she's busy with. And then achievements, there's 2 major DNA backlog reducing projects from 25,000 cases to under 1,000. Oversaw destruction of over 1 million rands of illicit drugs, seizures across provinces, expanded forensic lab capacity in Gqeberha, and improved service delivery for criminal record center. So she has an experience that is about 26 years as of 2024. So she's a very important figure and that has a very big experience in policing. But why entangle herself with Shadrack Sibiya? Clearly, there's certain things that these two people are doing that we are not aware of and that we do not have much information of. But I wish for her to come and testify to tell us why did they take the Dockets from KZN to Pretoria, and why did they want to form their own task team in Pretoria? Why did they want to do that? And thirdly, why did they want her to be the head, to be the person that is in charge and oversees the political killings task team instead of Khumalo? Why her? What has she done which would make her to have the prerequisite experience to head that team? Nonetheless, guys, let me hear what you think in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I will see you in my next upload. Bye.